Hello guys and welcome back to another episode. In this episode we're going to be building a burnt down windmill right over here. And next to it we're going to be building a lot of overgrown and abandoned fields. And after that we're also going to be building a small pond right here with a bridge over top. And sort of an estuary that connects from the pond to the sea. Now in between all of this we're going to go TNT strip mining because we have a gunpowder farm over in that cliff over there with the lighthouse on top. And we've recently spent a lot of time over there as well, since we built the bridge in the last episode, connecting it up to the mainland. And that means that we do have a lot of gunpowder at our disposal. Now first up is the burnt windmill, and it's going to be quite similar to the windmill that we have over here. However, there are a couple of key differences. For example, that it's going to be partially collapsed since, well, it's been ablaze at some point. That also means that the color palette will be slightly different. Now the rest of the build is going to be easier to show than to explain, so without further ado, let's get to building. Alright, so the windmill is complete, and it seems that the first tourist has already arrived here. Let's hope he enjoys his stay. Meanwhile, we can talk a little bit about the build, if we can squeeze through. Now, as you can see, I've tried to go for, well, a more burned palette, so we have a lot of darker colors here, which are meant to represent the fact that the fire has charred some of the walls. And additionally, we also have a lot of moss to sort of suggest that it's not something that's happened recently, but it has a time to be recaptured by the elements. Now, before we head downstairs, I just wanted to highlight as well the fact that the roof here has collapsed, which over there is built of granite and is what was up here as well, and is now laying here on the ruins. But with that said, let's head downstairs. And over here we have some sort of a study. Now, as you can see, some of the bookshelves are a little empty, and I do have the leather available, but I didn't have the sugarcane, so that's been planted. We're just waiting for that. But that is what's down here. Except for that block, that's not supposed to be down here. Let's just play something else. But in any case, it's sort of a small personal library that's, been overgrown and has weathered a bit, as we can see with some of the stains, and the origin of it is still a little bit unclear. Now, while we wait for the sugarcane to grow, I had the idea of putting an axolotl down here. And on paper that's a very nice idea, but in actuality, the only lush cave that I know of is about 3,000 blocks away. So I guess we'll have to do a little side quest here in order to get an axolotl. I just realized that I forgot to press record before I went down there. But I managed to pick up 2 buckets of axolotls, some small drip leaves, and some spore blossoms. So, not a bad haul. I'll be honest, I was hoping that this sugarcane would have grown a little more when I came back here. Of course it makes sense because we deloaded the chunks. But still, we're not getting a lot of books out of this amount of sugarcane. We can just take some of this as well, I guess. As long as the rest grows, we'll be fine. Looks like the tourist is still here. I guess that meant he liked it. Now with that said though, let's try to put this down. Why does it look like there's missing a water spot there? Is that possible to fix? Okay, I think that did it. Nice. Let's put in your friend. I feel a little sad having only one of you guys in here. So hopefully you can enjoy each other's company. And hopefully they don't despawn. Or jump out or something. I guess we'll see. They seem to stay here for now at least. Now with that said, let's try to find the materials for the books. And I guess the crafting table as well. Would be nice. It's not too bad, and I think that should be enough books. And there we go. Now that means that the study is all finished up down here in the basement, so I guess it's time to head over to the gunpowder farm and take a look at the stock there. It's still working, it looks like. There's not supposed to be string down here. This is really bad, actually. That means that some of the snowmen are probably not here anymore. And that can actually, on the long term, stop the farm quite a lot. That's a problem for another day. We do have a lot of gunpowder, though. And I think we have more than we'll need. But I haven't been TNT strip mining before, so I'm not quite sure. But surely 2 shulker boxes of gunpowder is enough. Otherwise, we can just come back. Now, the issue is that we don't have enough sand here. Or at least not in the quantities that we need to turn all this gunpowder into TNT, so I guess we gotta sail to the desert. Alright, so while we did get the sand that we need, this might have been a mistake. Because I do think at some point down the line that I have plans to build here. And then tearing up all the landscape here is probably not a good idea. So at some point, we might have to place a lot of it back. But I guess we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. In any case, we have about 2.5 shulker boxes of sand. If I can find it, of course. There we go. That's the sand. 2.5 shulker boxes. And then 2 shulker boxes of gunpowder. So that should mean that we can craft up, I don't know how much actually, but a lot of TNT. Maybe I miscounted actually. I thought the ratio was 4 gunpowder to 5 sand, but it seems to have been the opposite. But I guess it's not the worst thing in the world. We just have a lot of sand now. But that is also a lot of TNT. Probably the most I've ever had actually. I can't wait to blow it up. Speaking of blowing it up, I saw these guys lurking. Maybe we can try something real quick. Hello, fellas. I guess that's a way to do it. Now, with that experiment out of the way, let's head back so we can actually use it for its intended purpose. So I don't really think we need to bring too much in particular. I guess I'll bring some blocks as well, but we'll get plenty of netherite, I'd imagine. So that shouldn't be an issue. I guess we just gotta hop in and test things out and we'll find a place to do it. Because it's definitely not here. We want somewhere with a lot of netherite. I think right here might be good. Well, it doesn't look that good. And why is there a bridge down there? Did I make that? And when did I make that? I guess we can just build a small staircase down here. Okay, let's try to do it here. Now, how do they do it? Is it like this? No. And then like this, and then run through. And then place, and run through. Okay. Let's do that in the beginning. Nice. That went pretty well. We didn't get any netherite, I don't think. Or ancient debris. But we didn't get blown up either, so that's a win in my book. Okay, let's try this. Okay, go, 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 go. And I just blew up the staircase. If we get some ancient debris, it's all worth it. Don't think there's a lot of ancient debris, but there is a lot of lava. We can keep going though. That went pretty well. Okay, let's try this one. Oh, there we go. That's ancient debris, okay. So it is working. And 2's not bad actually. How did you get here though? I don't know how much we'll need. I think it's 4 per piece of netherite. And I just want it for the tools here. So I guess we'll need 24 pieces. Initially. Alright, let's take a look at it. We got some right there. And some right there. It's not bad at all. I feel like I've uttered those words very many times at this point. But it is true though. It isn't bad. You might even be able to call it good. 18. You should probably get out of there. Since we already got all that we needed, I feel like we should probably just fill up this one here with a lot of TNT. So that we go out with a bang. And then we gotta line it up. And the final tally for our TNT strip mining is 28 ancient debris. So we can actually turn an armor piece as well into netherite. It's probably gonna be the boots. Now we just have to go find a bastion somewhere, so we can get a netherite template. Oh wait, that's a bastion. I was just picking up all these bone blocks because we need them for later. With all the fields we have to plant, but that is a welcome sight. Maybe if we're lucky we can get an ender pearl here. Because that is a dangerous place for a bastion. Smack dab in the middle of a lava lake. This might actually be really dangerous. And we need to watch out for the brutes. There we go, and that's the template actually. And some ancient debris, okay. I feel like we got away with daylight robbery. If we do get away, that is. But I also want to look at the other chests. More ancient debris. And gold. And netherite scrap. But I think that's the same as debris. It's just smelted. It's been quite a while since I last made netherite armor. Oh, there is a chest down there, okay. Should we go take a look at that one? It's only really the brutes that are scary. I guess we can jump down and box ourselves in. Okay, we're gonna do that. No, 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 no. No, 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 no. All my shulker boxes, no. Oh, this is so bad. Do we have a bow? We have a crossbow, that's fine. And a bunch of blocks. And some armor. Okay, this should do the trick. We're ready for a rescue operation. Thankfully, I don't think it's too bad to get back there. But let's find out. I have a really bad feeling here, guys. Now we just gotta make sure that we don't just repeat ourselves here. At least 4 boxes. But there's no way we lost the debris, right? Does debris burn? No way. No way scrap and debris burns. Netherite armor doesn't burn. But it's not here. Oh, that's so unfortunate. I think we lost an empty shulker box. We lost a template as well. That's okay, I can live with that. I can really live with that. Like, all of this could have been so much worse. And I think at this point, everything that didn't burn has despawned. That's okay. We got most of our stuff back. But I guess that also means that we have to go to another bastion now. And redo the TNT strip mining. Alright, so tallying it up, I think we lost both our diamond pickaxes, and all the ancient debris, and all the scrap, and the netherite template. But we got the TNT still though. So we can get it all back. But first, we're gonna do a quick mission to go get a netherite template. I have seen so many fortresses now. but not a single bastion since then. There we go, that's a bastion. And we're almost at the end of the road as well. Just down here I can see the edge of the portal. So this really was the last call. I think I've seen like 5 or 6 fortresses on the way here. That was really close as well. I need to be more careful. I need to be more careful. Like if I hadn't gotten back my feather falling boots, that would have been it as well. Again. And then I would have lost everything. Kinda crazy how much Minecraft can make your heart race. Okay. That's one brute down. I'm not sure how many there are, but that's one of them. Fortune pickaxe. Oh, that's so good. To replace the one we lost. Oh, that's a template as well. Okay, that's so good. Now we just gotta run a couple thousand blocks back here. But at least we have the items that we need. And we don't ever need to go into another bastion. Alright, so we're back down in the ancient debris strip mines. And we do still have about 6 stacks of TNT here. So we can actually get all the ancient debris that we lost back. So that is exactly what we're gonna do. So I'm gonna dig out some straight lines, fill them with TNT, blow them up, and hopefully we get a lot of ancient debris. Alright, that's the first one. So we are back on track now. Let's go. Whoa. Oh wow, that's a lot. 3 there, 1 there, 1 there. We'll take it. So now we get to find out, does it? It doesn't burn. So where did it go before? When we lost like 28 or whatever. But I mean, it doesn't matter. We're getting it back right now. Is this efficient? Not at all. But will it make a large explosion? Absolutely. So we're doing it. And now we gotta run. Whoa. Okay, that was way bigger than I expected. And we just dumped a lava lake into this cavern. Ooh, there we go. Oh, that's a lot actually. Nice. And that's number 24. So we got what we needed. Let's go. Nah, I'm just kidding. We'll get the last pieces as well, of course. Now we just gotta find our way out. Alright, so we're back in the overworld, and I'm just trying to take stock of the situation. Find out what we're missing, what we still have, and how much we need to craft, and whether we actually have the resources for it. Because we spent a lot of our diamonds building the other diamond armor set. So first we'll need 6 of these netherite templates. How do we do it? Isn't it like this? Okay, we need another block as well. Netherrack. That should do it. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so we don't need 8 actually. And that's 7. And then we need to smelt the ancient debris here. It doesn't look like we have a lot of resources to smelt things with, so we'll use some stairs. We're really scraping the bottom at the moment. There we go, that's all the scrap. And now we have 6 ingots. That's not too shabby. Now I just need to figure out how to make a smithing table. We need iron for that. So something like this. And now we're ready. But I think we should get all the tools prepared first before we start upgrading them. And a spare anvil would probably be good to have as well. And before we head over to get our XP, we should probably check what guys we have to trade with here. Alright, so we can get a lot of emeralds. But I don't think we have anything else actually. We do also have a mending guy over here. And we probably need to go trade that. Alright, so we've remedied the tool situation. All the tools have been enchanted, and we have some pretty good tools now. Way better than what we had before. It did also take quite a while and cost me almost all of the diamonds. But luckily we shouldn't need too many more diamonds in the near future for creating new tools and armor. So in any case, with the tool situation remedied, it's time to turn our diamond tools into netherite tools. So let's do it. And that looks good. So does that. And that as well. There we go. And we got the achievement for a netherite hoe. Okay. Reevaluate our life choices. We'll do that at a later date, because we have things to do. This portion with the tools took a bit longer than I had intended, but it's all good. It's time to start building stuff, and that's very exciting. So as I introduced in the beginning of the video, the idea is that we're going to be building a lot of overgrown, sort of abandoned fields. And in order to do that, we'll need a lot of seeds, for example. We do have quite a bit because we do regularly farm over here. So that should be okay for the moment. But we will also need things to make it sort of look abandoned and overgrown. And in order to do that, we're going to be using things that we already have planted a little bit of here, like short grass and the bushes. And then of course we're gonna sort of follow the same style as we've done over here, with the bushes that sort of enclose the different segments of wheat fields. It's gonna be perhaps a little bit more overgrown, but it's sort of the same vibe. Now of course over here at this sort of nice and well kept fields, all the dirt has been tilled into the soil, and some of it will also be like that over here in these fields, but quite a bit of it would also be grass like this, and a little bit of just plain dirt, coarse dirt, things like that, sort of to mix things up a little bit, and to sort of suggest that it has been reclaimed by nature. So we're gonna have some streaks of sort of grass running into the fields and stuff like that. So with the overall plan laid out, it's time to start gathering the materials for the build. And as mentioned, we do probably have a lot of seeds over here, so I have to do a lot of rummaging. I'm gonna spare you guys that part, but we are also gonna be shearing a lot of trees and bone mealing a bunch of these bushes, for example, to get even more of them. So there's plenty of manual labor to do, so let's get to it. Alright, so all the materials have been gathered and they've been hidden away right under this bridge here. It did cost me a bath in the lava, and I nearly died because I was trying to get past the magma cube and it pushed me, and yeah, I fell down into the lava. Luckily there was a nether fortress nearby so that I didn't lose everything to the lava. That would have been so bad. Like, it was literally everything. All the blocks I prepared, all my tools, all my armor. Of course, the netherite wouldn't have burned, but still losing the rest of the stuff would have been very hard to bear. Now, just out of the corner of my eye here, I can actually see that there's been a block missing. And that block has probably been missing for quite a while. So let's just patch it up real quick. There we go. Kinda crazy that I hadn't noticed that before. But in any case, we're going to be starting with the hedges to sort of outline the build. Then we're going to build all the paths that we can. And after that, we're going to fill in the fields. Then it's going to be the pond over here. And finally, the river stream connecting the pond to the ocean. So with all that said and done, it's time to grab some blocks and let's get to building. Alright, so that's the build complete, and I'm quite happy with how it's turned out. It did take quite a bit longer than I had expected, having to till out all the soil and then planting the seeds, but like not having it all over the place like we did just over here. Actually requires quite a bit more concentration than I had expected it to. But it's okay, we got it done. It took about 6 hours or so to build this, but I really like the results. I'd say it's been well worth it. I feel like we got a nice overgrown and abandoned feel to sort of the path here leading up to the ruined windmill, and yeah, I really like how it wraps over here to the pond. Maybe there's a few too many lily pads when looking at it the second time, but it's okay. I did also leave a couple out here in the center because there is a bit of water flow trickling down this way, and I feel like the current of the stream would perhaps limit the growth a little bit. I don't know if that's true at all, but I decided to go for it. And I can also see that we're missing a little bit of pathway here. But yeah, all in all, the ponds turned out quite nice, I'd say. Got the firefly bushes that we gathered in the last episode as well. And also some of the small drip leaves here, which are super expensive. Oh well, not expensive, rare. But other than that, the path also wraps up here to the bridge, which we can cross. It's a very small bridge, has a few details, some semblance of a gradient as well. But I do also feel that sort of having bricks sprinkled in at random places sort of highlight the fact that there are bricks, but you don't then need to have them all over the place because they're not always the nicest kind of block. Like, it depends. I feel like bricks are sometimes a little circumstantial. But in any case, the bridge takes us across the stream and leads up over to here so that the farmer can sort of access these fields as well. Now the final piece of the puzzle is this small waterfall which leads into the stream here, which sort of splits and reconnects and stuff like that and leads into the ocean. And I really like how it's turned out. I decided to go for a bit of a steeper drop off here in the beginning because I remember seeing an Instagram reel at some point with a guy like talking and rating a lot of landscape depending on how like the gradient of the water flow was. And he said that you needed to have some of these which were a little bit steeper because water can't be that steep like uniformly otherwise. So I tried to recreate that as well. Now in the material gathering process, I did actually also have to go out and get a lot of these flowers here. And I did get a bunch more. So for the future builds, we'll have a ton of flowers that we can add. So that's nice. Now there's one more thing to show, but before that, let's go over and sleep real quick. I feel like these guys have also been supervising me. Like at some point they were standing like 3 or 4 guys up here and just overlooking the fields. Hopefully they approve of the job I've done here. Alright, so as I mentioned, there was actually a final thing as well, and that was me adding these lily pads and vegetation to the bottom of the pond. And also these sort of floating flowers. I'm not sure what to call them, but I remember seeing them a couple of years ago and they look really cool. I did also try to sort of make it a little realistic, so I kept some of the seagrass to the side, had a bit of kelp in the middle and the lily pads to the sides as well. So there's space for the natural flow of the water, which takes this path, which is highlighted by, well, the leg of the lily pads. I don't often go back and change things about the things I've built, but it's definitely something I want to do more in the future. And, well, this is the first step to starting that journey. It's not like we're going to make major overhauls, like this windmill is probably going to stay right there without any major changes at all. But that doesn't mean that I don't think there's value in sort of leaving your build speed, because it also shows that you do improve and you can go back to like some of the older stuff that you've built and then think about how you would do it now and like, or just go through your world right and see how much you've improved, which can be pretty fun. But yeah, with that said, I want to thank you guys for watching this episode. I hope you enjoyed. I certainly enjoyed making it, and I'll catch you in the next one. Take care.